I'll start. I'm Teck. I run Binance X. If you were at the opening ceremony yesterday, I talked a little about Binance X. It's a new initiative, developer-facing, trying to foster innovation on the Binance platform. And today I'm just going to talk about the Binance platform, which is a bunch of products that developer-facing that developers can build on. And yeah.
I'm Flora San, also from Binance X. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us.
What's your name?
I'm Steve, based in Waterloo. I was an East ICO, and I live in Waterloo, where Cloud was a school. I'm based in Toronto a lot of the time, so I follow East ICO report. So I just come to lazy lens and I don't code. I just try to figure out what's going on and what's coming up. And I think we industry from an investment standpoint and big into NFTs. So like Denver was exclusive NFTs first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, I'm Will. I'm a developer. I was previously working at a prop trading firm,
Oh.
so we were using Binance.
Oh, nice. A prop trading doing crypto.
Yeah, yeah, out of Toronto actually, but Citizen Hackathon. But yeah, so I'm just interested in exchanges and what you guys are doing. You guys are always innovating, so
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Yeah. Go next, or?
My name's Edson. I'm a freelancer doing decentralized finance projects.
Okay.
I was also in Toronto for a couple months, but now I'm back in Philly. I also do some technical writing occasionally.
Okay. Cool. Are you here for the? Yeah.
I'm here for you, yeah.
Okay, good. We're doing a lot of intros. basically.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
because they're so small. So.
Yeah, sure. I'm Christiana. I work primarily in Asia, but I travel just to all events basically. I work on adoption campaigns. So cities or festivals or kind of either micro or macro, how to adopt crypto usage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, Binance platform consists of the Binance chain, which is what we call the DEX, the .com APIs, which you might be interested in, the Trust Wallet, which is a wallet they acquired last July, that has open source, what they call a core SDK, and then two other things that people can develop on. And then we have the Binance Charity platform, Binance Charity Foundation, which uses the blockchain to track donations or charitable donations all the way through to the beneficiary. I don't know which part of the Binance platform you guys want to learn. I know, like you might be interested in .com APIs.
I mean, I already know. So
You already know? Okay.
Yeah, it's just
You know about futures and margins that are coming up? Have you?
I mean, I know you guys are doing that. I haven't looked too much into the
Right.
the ones.
We just announced, just latest greatest news. We just announced two futures products. One was acquired in called Jax. And we are kind of having this trading competition to kind of gauge community interest in either one of them, to see which one people have interest in. It just literally started a few days ago. And then we have a margin product since a few weeks ago, or is it a few months ago? Probably a few weeks ago, where people can leverage their trades using margin. And also, we're going to have a lending product, which is margin, I guess, not just lending. So on the .com exchange side, we're innovating, just kind of having more products that are more comprehensive for traders. Futures are a different step, towards derivatives, which into the BitMEX space. And then I guess earlier this year, we launched the Binance Chain, which is a public chain that has native DEX functionality. So today, it has already become the largest decentralized exchange in the space by many times order, by at least an order of magnitude to the next competitor. I can go through that. Are you guys interested in Binance Chain? All right. So this agenda, we go through the Binance overview, some tips and tricks. We have RPs, Boston Prize, and then maybe you guys can ask some questions. So Binance Chain is based on the Tendermint consensus. It's built using a modified version of the Cosmos SDK, which means that it has similar characteristics as the Cosmos hub or any Cosmos hub you build with the Cosmos SDK. It has 1/2 block confirmation and finality, so final block every 2 seconds. And each block is, kind of small, it's less than 1 megabyte. The TPS is kind of recorded in thousands per second. This is something we want to kind of keep performance because the DEX, as you know, as a trader, you need fast settlement, you need the performance for traders to even consider trading on DEX. Cryptography is the same as Bitcoin. We're currently not open source yet. We've been, live on mainnet for about 4 months now. The reason I think CZ didn't want open source because our competitors are trying to come up with their own DEX, and if we open source now, they could easily just fork it. CZ wants to see more innovation in the space, so forcing them to build their own. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't open source, but the intent is to open source it once it's good and ready for the space to have it open source. So right now we have binaries on the GitHub, and this is the link. So just github.com/binance-chain. Like I said, the mainnet is live for 4 months now. So Tendermint, if you don't know, is a PFP consensus algorithm. It has validator nodes that produce blocked and voter proposals. Today we run on validators, and in the future we'll have the same model as most Cosmos have, where people stake to validate. Right now it's us for now. We'll kind of have that model over time. And there's a bunch of nodes that are what we call witness nodes, and these are like nodes you can run yourself. Either light nodes that connect to full nodes, or you can run full nodes that actually have full nodes that have the entire chain on your local hard drive. And then we have what we call accelerated nodes, which are nodes that we run next to the validators, or very close to the validators that you can connect to directly. It's kind of, you can think of it like an inferior service. You can just connect it and do stuff with it without running the node. The governance, as I said, so yeah, there's on-chain governance and off-chain governance. Off-chain governance is how we kind of improve the chain. And we go through the same thing as most other chains do, which is go through community proposal process. We call it Binance Evolution Proposal, BEP. BIP is taken by Bitcoin. So BEP, and then, so it can be anything, it can be, either one of these 3 things, right? Feature request, improvement, or a standard you want to put out. So the BEP2, the second standard, so BEP1 is kind of a BEP where it describes what BEP is, and then BEP2 is the token standard, which describes what a token on the Binance chain should have, basically, or the interface that it should have. Kind of ERC20 of Binance chain. And for on-chain governance, we have 2 things that validators vote on today. You can submit a proposal to list to issue a token, and then validators vote on it to see whether you can issue a token. And then the other thing is to list a token. Listing means that you're putting up a trading pair on the DEX. Today, I think you can propose trading pairs against BNB, which are a native token on the chain, as well as BTCB, which is a Bitcoin, which is a kind of like a wrap Bitcoin on Binance chain, as well as a BUSD. So you can kind of go to this link or Binance.org to see what are the guidelines on how to list a token on Binance chain. So far, we have about 60, 70 tokens kind of issued on Binance chain. A lot of them.
Actually, I just got the latest stat.
Okay.
It's 139.
Okay, sorry,
tokens.
I'm super outdated.
Yeah.
So,
And then the trading pair is 94.
okay, 139 and 94, so we're going pretty quickly. So a lot of the ERC20 are kind of migrated over to kind of take advantage of the liquidity on the DEX as well as the centralized exchange. So the BAC2 standard basically has these 4 things that you need to implement, which is issue token, transfer token, freeze, unfreeze, mint, and burn. Basically, this, very standard things that you want a token to do. And then the DEX functionality is native to the chain. It has orders where you can do buy, sell, cancel. All of them are limit orders. And the matching logic, I think it's changed. We did a hard fork and it's changed to something better. And you can look at the latest, greatest at this link. Like I said, you can propose trading pairs and validators vote to decide. And this is outdated. This was done in Europe, but now we support more quote pairs, quote assets other than BNB. The fees are fixed, and we have revised it as the price of BNB went up. So there's a fee table somewhere in the docs, and this is what it is. So if you're trying to develop on the Binance chain, these are some of the tips and tricks that you can kind of take advantage of. Going from easy to hard, I guess the easiest is to hit up the accelerated nodes and use that REST API to do stuff. And then you can also stream data from the DEX, WebSockets API. And then you can also, we have a bunch of SDKs that are written either by us or by the community. It's expanded way beyond these languages now. And then, of course, you can run your own node and just hit your own node with an RPC call. And you can run the binaries, like I said, they're not open source yet, so the binaries are available too on GitHub. We support a lot of wallets. We have our own web wallet at Binance.org. You can create a wallet there. And then we have Trust Wallet, which is our non-custodial wallet on mobile. We support, I think we support native trading on Trust Wallet now. And then Ledger, Cool Wallet, and a few others. And then it's expanded beyond this. So in order to evolve, you need some test points, testnet coins. So you need to have at least one BNB in your Binance.com account, and you can request for testnet coin. Or you don't have at least one BNB in your account or a Binance account, you can just contact us on Discord. We'll send you some testnet coins. Or you can stop by. For this hackathon, we have a set of RFPs published on BinanceX.dev, which is our website, /collab_RFPs/HTML. Beyond these RFPs, like I said in the opening ceremony, we're very open to other ideas, as long as it, kind of got this perspective around building something that other people want to use, either developers or users. So feel free to hit us up on Discord and discuss the ideas with us. These are some of this where you can interact with the community. ETHBoston is the Discord chat, and then in general, the Binance Chain community discusses stuff on the forum, community.binance.org. There's a Telegram channel, and then the Twitter as well. So for this hackathon, we are just giving out fellowship. And let me talk a little bit about the Binance Fellowship Program. It's a program that we started in April this year to support open source development in crypto. And we want to see more building blocks that are free and open to use for other developers or the community. So we came up with this fellowship grant program where the only requirement to get the grant is that the output of your work has to be open source and openly accessible. So if it's research, it has to be open, published, and accessible by people. If it's like a software, it has to be on GitHub and can be under a certain open source license. So we have onboarded around 40 plus projects so far. If you go to this link, you see some of the fellows with onboarded. Some notable ones are we don't necessarily just give out grants for finance related projects. The first few projects are actually Grid related. So we gave grants to Iron Valley, which is like a Grid wallet, Grid mobile wallet, Grin swap, which is an atomic swap with ETH and Grin, which is also a Grin project and a lot of Ethereum stuff as well. But lately we've been funding a lot of Binance related projects as well. Yeah, this is the end of the quick overview of Binance Chain. If you have any questions and if you want, you can sign up for our newsletter. Any questions? You can ask anything.
Anything?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so what is there a way to have like smart contracts operate on Binance chains with like let's say let's say we wanted to have smart contract only give you Binance coin when a certain set of conditions are met, but I don't want to have to run a separate central server
Yeah.
like outside of the Binance server or the network, right? Is that possible?
So we don't support smart contracts at this point. We do have a proposal called MEP3 that supports HTLC and atomic pegging to other chains, especially Ethereum chain, where you could potentially like send over or peg your token on Binance chain to Ethereum, do some smart contracts there, and then come back. It's a trusted bridge, so it's not a trustless thing yet, but you can do that with MEP3, which is going to be implemented this month actually on the mainnet. So for now, there's no native smart contracts on the Binance chain. So the reason is because we have to keep the native DEX functionality really performant. So any additional kind of delay in the state transition is not going to help the core functionality, which you want to keep very performant. But in the future, if we find a way to do it, do smart contracts while maintaining the performance of the DEX, then yeah, we'll definitely go into that. But for now, yeah, it's going to be like using other chains to do smart contract stuff and then do that.
Alright, so will it be acceptable for now, if we submit an idea, to have a proposal that would use maybe an external central server, but could later be adapted into a smart contract system?
Yeah, I mean that's a trusted smart contract execution environment, right? So you have to trust that they're executing correctly. So then the assumption is that whatever you do is like, the conditions for how you kind of, yeah, I mean, it's basically like instead of going to Ethereum where it's trustless, you're going to a centralized server. That's definitely, temporary.
Is it until you finish your smart contract platform? Or like, well, you talked about linking to other smart contract platforms in the meantime with.
Right, that's harder to do, definitely, because you need a bridge. You need a bridge to do that. Yeah, for now, I think, you can just hack it and just say, hey, assume this is like going to Ethereum. Well, what are you building for? Can't really say.
Well, it's just like anything that releases BNB when certain set of conditions are met, right? Like it's the basics of any smart contract, right? So like we have to establish some way to do that before we can do anything really.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is that Binance Chain has the DEX functionality as liquidity. That's the core feature. And then if you want to do anything that's like smart contracts, you do it. At least for now, you do it, on external chain or in a trusted kind of environment. Yeah, I mean, go ahead and do that for this hackathon. Yeah.
So that like block times are like a second, like has that been fast enough for trade?
Is that fast enough for traders? You tell me, you're a trader.
Well, not necessarily like ultimately not really fast enough.
Ultimately not
Curious,
really,
like,
yeah.
if you're thinking about different like solutions to that, like potentially using something like Scale or some of these side chains.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they're all considering everything. I think, I personally believe that layer 2 is the way to go, which, basically runs a paradigm you trust it until you don't. Because other kind of decent, like, trustless way to do it it's, you just hit a wall somewhere, yeah, we're considering all possibilities. For now, we're like 4 months in, and so far, I think, the serious traders are still on the central exchange, the liquidity is still there. Until we build up like very deep liquidity on the DEX, and people are serious about trading on the DEX, then yeah, we need to improve the performance on that. Yeah, I totally agree, it's probably not fast enough. Any other question? It doesn't have to be on Binance Chain, it can be anything.
How about Venus?
Yeah.
Venus?
Venus. What about Venus?
I mean, what about Venus? It's just, I mean, I haven't heard much. I just had like rumors.
Yeah, so we're deliberately keeping it kind of like vague for now.
Okay.
So
What is that?
Oh, it's like the answer to Libra. Binance answer to Libra.
yeah, it is a initiative to kind of like engage fiat currencies to kind of like issue stable coins.
So moving backwards?
What's that?
Isn't that moving backwards?
Uh,
Isn't the reason why we're all doing this is to get away from that crap?
Sure, yeah. I would say, that, yeah, I agree with you. Some people see it as moving forward. It's a step forward because it is still kind of issuing a digital currency, kind of, which is fiat backed. Depends on your perspective, right? Some people think it's a small step towards where we want to be. I know all of us here want to just go decentralized and screw with fiat people, like,
Well, it seems like we're bringing them back into this when we're trying to kick their ass out of it, so it doesn't make sense.
It's kind of like it's strategy. It's like adoption, bridge. How do we engage all masses? It's you got to have a Trojan horse, so you got to do what you got to do. I think there's compromise that has to be made.
No, I disagree with that, but either way.
yeah, the different perspective. One perspective is like, hey, you cannot disrupt something. You're trying to co-opt something you're trying to disrupt, right? Like Uber, when we meet Uber today, they actually co-opted the taxi union.
Yeah.
That's one perspective, right? Another perspective is like Trojan horse, hey, take it one step at a time, baby
Right.
steps towards
Yeah.
whatever. Who knows what's going to work?
Who
So
knows?
we're taking all steps and see what works. Yeah. If you're interested, you can, what's the email? Do you remember?
Oh,
It's
yes,
venus@binance.com. No, someone will get back to you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just send an email there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what your market share against MetaMask and Coinbase are for dApps?
MetaMask.
Yeah, as far as one wall that's being used, if trust is used for dApps as well, do you have any idea what kind of market share you have for?
Oh, I don't actually.
No.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'm sure MetaMask is like,
I was gonna say they have to have the bulk between the three.
they have the bulk, yeah, because they're in the browser.
Yeah.
For like mobile stuff, you have to use Wallet Connect, it's like, little friction there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, their iOS still isn't live yet, so it's still,
Oh, the iOS, MetaMask iOS app?
it's still like a bit.
Yeah.
The hand raise.
Yeah. I think that's something that, the crypto space has to solve because that friction is going to be preventing a lot of adoption, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah, you had a question about something or?
No, I was asking you if you knew the market share against that, but you said you
No, I think Trust Wallet, because I think at this point is the wallet with the most number of chains supported, mainly because of the Trust Wallet core that we open source, where chains could just integrate their own chains with Trust Wallet themselves, and we just rebase to our main app, and then we're done with the integration. We don't have to do it ourselves, and that's one of the reasons why we open source the Trust Wallet core. And I think now is the wallet with the most number of chains supported mobile. So,
Nice.
yeah. 5 more minutes. Anything else? Who's building on Binance? Okay, you are? Oh, okay. .com APIs or Binance Chain or?
So I was thinking of doing something with the smart contracts,
Yeah.
where like I would source liquidity from Binance, and then it would be stored in an account that would trade on behalf of the user using a smart contract. But seeing as you guys don't have smart contracts, I think I'll just use the API and simulate.
Okay, on the .com.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Anything else? I'm very interested in what you do around adoption. Like what kind of activities or initiatives are you doing?
So, okay, so right now we're on the ground in Amsterdam. So it's just grassroots, to be honest. It's just painstaking. So I used to do kind of like more like online customer acquisition, bulk kind of get a million users type of stuff. And then I realized for crypto, it's not gonna work like that. Like we have to have the online campaigns and we have to have the offline painstaking work. So we kind of do hybrid models of that. So we target, let's say, events or festivals where they're gonna have maybe 5,000 ticketed people or more. So whenever there's a ticketed event, it could be a festival, South by Southwest, Coachella, or these conferences as well, because we're inside the network, right? You have a ticketed event, and then how can we leverage ticketed humans, like, Celsius has they'll send you Celsius with text messages. Well, if we have 5,000 person event, and everyone put in their cell phone number, everyone can get, some kind of coin, $10, everybody gets it, right? And then we have them, and then we design kind of like a digital experience to say, okay, everybody got this coin, everyone who got a ticket got this coin, go to this area, you can play a game, you can get a beer, you can get a snack, right? So that's incentivizing, you just got coin and you're gonna use it now, right? So we do that kind of stuff and that with those events, we're able to test. So when, it's not a silver bullet, it's not a full loop, but it is gonna be like, okay, so they got this coin, they now have it, they're a brand new user, when will they delete it, how can we keep them active in it? And then creating methods for that. And then Amsterdam, we're getting ready to do like a promotion week, and we're onboarding a bunch of restaurants. And then the next web summit or the next big fintech conference, we'll do that promotion, and then the restaurants that are taking crypto will have incentives for, again, the ticketed attendees. So it's just kind of like step by step, but we're always leveraging large scale events so that we can get onboarded new users, and then track kind of like the data of their experience.
How do you get the restaurants? What do you pitch the restaurants for?
So for now we're not trying to do, from our kind of theory is that we are going to give people what they need, not give them the whole education. So we use partners that give them off-ramp to get fiat. Again, compromising, right? Because we can't teach everybody everything at the thing. So for what we do is like for a merchant it's very simple. Can I make more money, right? And we're saying we're promoting you within the space. We're bringing on incentives specifically for this one promotion week, where people are going to go to your restaurant because they get a deal. We're giving them free promotion, and they can get the fiat off ramp, so it's not a risk for them. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're out of time again. Cool. Well, thank you guys.